Yo guys, what's up? This is Deafening Vids with yet another video. I would like to thank you all for your support, for watching my videos, liking and subscribing. It really means a lot. So today's video of r/EntitledParents will be again quite short because I will only present you one story, since I consider it's quite long and quite interesting. So I hope this will make up for the video. Well, this story is also quite sad. It's more sad than funny, but it's a real representation of what an entitled parent can do to her child. So, let's begin. Woman freaks out and tries to steal my money. This event happened a few weeks ago, and before you comment this is fiction, I solemnly swear that this is 100% true. So, I am a 17-year-old male working for a vendor company called Fairytale Production. It's the kind of hired for wedding parties, birthdays, etc. We do things like photography, a DJ, and the area I'm stationed in, photo booths. I was hired for just the average wedding party on a Saturday lasting from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. I arrived to the banquet center, build the booth, and get a drink from the bar. I get the usual Sprite, tip the bartender $5 and check if I get a table. The guests had begun to arrive at this time, but I didn't pay much attention to them. I sat at my table since I didn't start for another half hour, but I noticed a tall woman, maybe in her early 30s, and her young daughter, maybe 6 or 7, roaming around my booth, trying out some of the props like the huge glasses, mustaches on sticks, face masks, and other ridiculous items. Being the kind person I am, I decided to go and let them have a couple sessions before I fully opened. I finished my small drink and head over to the prop table. The girl seemed really sweet and was giggling at the sight of her mom wearing a huge, fluffy yellow hat that looked like a German beer mug and had beer rules in red letters on the front. I tapped the mother on the shoulder to get her attention. She turned and gave me a smile, but it felt off. "Hi, can I help you, sir?" She said the last word in a threatening tone, but I didn't make anything of it. Yes, ma'am, I just wanted to tell you that I don't open for another 25 minutes, but I would be more than happy to let you and your daughter go in a bit early." She kindly accepted the offer, and she went in and out the booth a couple times before she had to take a seat for dinner. Time skip. I was outside the booth, helping customers pick out props, when I noticed the lady with her daughter in tow. But the woman didn't look very happy about the line, which I knew why. The line was at least 15 people long, with them in the back, so I understood. As they reached the booth, the daughter became excited and nearly rushed in the booth if I hadn't stopped her. "Whoa there," I say with a smile. "There are people inside right now. Just wait a minute, okay?" Bad move. As the daughter began to go back to her mother, still smiling by the way, the woman descended onto me. "How dare you talk to my child that way?" she yelled. She was attracting attention from all of the guests, even the bride was watching from the head table. The little girl tried to defend me by saying things like, "It's okay, mommy," and "There were people already in there." But the EM wasn't listening. "You were so nice just an hour ago. What is wrong with you? Turning down my daughter like that? You are a despicable person. I was just standing there, face contorted with shock, until my body forced my mouth to move and respond. I'm sorry, madam, I didn't mean to come off as rude, but there were already guests in the booth, so you would have to wait for your turn, ma'am. Wrong thing to say. The EM's face began to turn red, her face constricting with rage. I am a single mother with a young child. I'm just trying to make her happy. But you hate my daughter. You turned down a small child to get a picture with her own mother just because there are people already in there? Just ask them to leave. They shouldn't be in there anyways. These picture booths are for children. At this point, the child was on the verge of tears, her cheeks red. I had to force myself not to take the girl away from this woman's clutches, as every thought in my head was saying, help save the girl. Her future is about to shatter if this keeps up. I screw my head on straight and reply, I'm very sorry, madam. I didn't mean to offend you or your daughter in any way, but it looks like the booth is open now, if you want to have a go. I noticed that the previous occupants of the booth have retreated, seeing that if they stayed they might have fallen to this lady's wrath. The EM tugs her child in the booth and begins to take pictures. Time moves on and things are nearly normal, but there is one problem. The EM has not stepped out of the booth for over 6 minutes, and the customers were beginning to get angry. Ma'am, you're holding up the line. I have to ask you to leave the booth and go to the end of the line. The EM pokes her head out of the curtains and gives me a death glare, which still scares me, and replied, Fine. She drags her now tear-faced daughter out of the booth and begins to leave, but not before taking my full tip jar and a couple of props. Guests began to take action at this motion and blocked off the exits, asking her to return what was mine. No, he took my daughter's happiness. Why can't I take some of his things? She was now screaming. So was her daughter. The bride and groom jumped into action, making her return my tip jar and the props, but not after 10 minutes of yelling. As the situation calmed, I was still worried about the girl. How could she still be so sweet with a mother like this? I ran over to the girl and she was silently crying in a corner, and gave her the hat her mother was wearing earlier. She began to slow her sobs and looked at me. I began to ask her questions about her mother and if this was a normal thing. She said yes to every question that I hoped she wouldn't. I stood up, gave the girl a warm smile, and returned to the EM, who was still shouting about how she was a single mother with a young child. I talked to the bride and groom, telling them what the girl had told me. They looked pale by the time I finished. They then told me that I could leave early. As I was putting the computer into its case, the EM walked up to me with a look that said she wanted to murder me. Give me something, now! As she reached her bony hands out, I replied, I'm not giving you anything except a card from CPS. This shocked her into silence. I packed the rest of the booth objects and took the 30 minutes away drive home. All I can say after this ordeal is that I hope that a little girl has been given a loving, caring family and that she will be very successful when she comes of age. It horrifies me that there are people like this in the world, and I have come face to face with one. I just hope I've done the right thing. Well, after reading this, I really feel sorry for the little girl, and I am kinda happy that this young man stood up for him and for this little girl, and let's hope she found a better family that would love her and protect her and Let's hope her future is bright. And also about the EM, I just can't imagine what kind of a bad person she is. I mean, she really just uses her girl as a pretext for her being a bad parent. I mean, she is using others' actions just to prove that she is really trying to be a good, caring mother, but it's obvious that she's not. Well, I really can't stand this kind of people. Well, that was all for today, folks. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to like and subscribe and maybe check out my other videos. Thank you again. See you soon.